Hola. I'm hopefully my cough will not like ruin this whole entire video, but where I'm trying to speak and then all of a sudden I'm just and I just start coughing up an entire thunderstorm. But I have a fortune cookie with me, and I thought it'd be pretty cool if we got to see what the fortune was for this video. And it's already broken, which makes me mad because like fortune cookies are so much fun to just like and this one's just already broken. So like, what the heck, man? What the heck is wrong with you? All right. Be a first-rate version of yourself, but not a second-rate version of someone else. I see. I'm like always a first-rate version of myself. I don't know what you're talking about, fortune cookie. I am the best version of myself that the world will ever see. Frick you. But anyway, we're watching A Fleeting Light in the Darkness. Honestly, this is one of my favorite MOP Grimdarks of all time. It is so good. It is so creepy, so off-putting. It just, it gives you the shivvies. It gives you the shivity shivers. And this is also another video where I have to put my headphone cord in. And yeah, I threw it away. I hate that cord so much. Scary music. Oh. Damn, 2019. That's like 15 years ago. But I remember the first part being more unsettling than the second part. But both parts are still very well done. And also the typewriter.
Case report. Initial investigative documentation. Submitted by Raven Inkwell.
It also starts off pretty
Location,
slow.
Ponyville.
It's fine.
Case. Ponyville mass disappearance. Classification. Top secret. What follows is the report regarding the township of Ponyville, pertaining to the events that led to a widespread disappearance of all townsfolk and surrounding citizens, and subsequent events surrounding its investigation. A journal.
Oh yeah, wasn't there like some sort of like weird dome around Ponyville, like some sort of weird dark dome, and it like stays night? Doesn't it like stay nighttime? Oh, I'm unlocking memories.
Was found by myself in the Ponyville library, where Princess Celestia's personal student, Twilight Sparkle, was keeping residence since her relocation to Ponyville. It is a case-bound journal kept in very pristine condition and reads research notes in print on the front cover. All pages are intact, except for a few exceptions which will be noted when they occur. The library itself was a mess, with books, notes, and various supplies, including quills, ink, water, food, and lanterns, strewn
What about
about the floor and on
sofas?
the shelves.
Pillows and sofas?
They were, however, well arranged, leading me to believe that the pigsty, as Agent Verdant Vines dubbed it, was not a potential case of breaking and entering. Given my experiences with Twilight Sparkle when she resided in Canterlot, this would be true to form. The journal was found on a desk that had been moved to the room's center, accompanied by a plain quill and an empty container of ink.
Just a plain
The
quill.
desk was stained with a few blots of ink, and while a struggle may have been possible, it is not certain this is the case. The rest of the town was in a similar condition, and some buildings were barricaded, but all were stocked with similar basic provisions and lanterns, with a few exceptions where the buildings were entirely empty. Several streets contained debris, but they only appeared to be shards of glass from broken lanterns or pieces of wood torn from houses and storefronts. None of the actual doors or windows of any building were broken or in disrepair.
Oh, okay, so like I remember from the second part, there was like this whole thing in the barn where like there was like chaos happening because I think some of the creatures got in. I don't remember what the creatures were, but there's some sort of like shadow creatures, and so there was like all this like chaos and destruction and such. Didn't like the barn get set on fire? I don't actually remember. It might have. I might be wrong on that, but the fact that right now, like what they're seeing and laying out to us in the beginning is that there's not really any damage, like any sort of debris is just glass and such, and it's just like there's not much going on, which is really interesting considering if you know the second part, you know how much destruction is capable to happen in this fic, and it's so weird though, like, huh.
But some interior doors appeared damaged. No other substantial notes, writings, or other evidence related to what occurred had been found. The town hall, however, was completely empty of anything not nailed down, except for the mayor's office, which was in normal condition. I have taken pains to include as much documentation as has survived whatever event occurred in Ponyville, in the hopes it will lead us to find the missing citizens, or at least what happened to them. Sincerely, Raven Inkwell, Advisor to Her Majesty Princess Celestia.
This story is writing so much theory crafting. A somber little piano. And then the guitar.
March 26th. Well, I just got back from picking up another month's worth of supplies with Spike.
Yay!
I saw this journal sitting in the window of a store and figured it'd be a better alternative to write down some notes on my experiments or research I end up doing during my studies. It tends to get a little difficult to find all those pieces of parchment if Spike or I don't organize them correctly. I've been meaning to start a journal
So, like, what do you mean another month of supplies? Why would you say Why would you say it like that? I got another month of supplies, because right now you're implying that we're not in the disaster yet. So just like Twilight, it sounds like you just went grocery shopping, and then you're just like another month of supplies. Like that implies you're already barricaded, in the in your heckin' home, and you're acting all cheery. It's like another month of supplies, another month survived, and the great tragedy of life. Like, you couldn't have called it just like items, materials. Why am I harping on this so much? I just like laser-eyed, locked in on just supplies.
again too, but that's a secondary priority for now. Hopefully I can finally start getting some work done again with everything stocked up. Mixing experiments, March 29th. Experiment number 1. 5 milligrams bitter root, crushed. 200 milliliters of water. 10 milligrams of double thyme, crushed. 4 petals of sweet bloom. Soaked sweet bloom petals in water for 2 minutes and then removed from solution. Added bitter root and mixed until normal acidic reaction occurred.
Why does it look like the red liquid in the middle is just like Kool-Aid?
Reaction, and solution began to settle. Remained
are we making
for 10
Kool-Aid?
minutes, after which reaction resumed for 50 seconds to a minute and then stopped. Zikora's suggestion was helpful for calming the mixture, and it did taste a lot sweeter than my usual tea. I'll have to share it with the girls if I get a chance.
What do you mean tea?
Experiment number 2. 15 milligrams dragon leaf, crushed.
What are you creating? Also, imagine, this is definitely not what Twilight's doing, but, imagine if Twilight was just, doing all these, different chemicals and potions just to make some goddamn tea. It's alright, gotta put 50 milliliters of this, gotta shake it up, Alright, step 50 of 151. Gotta pour the 200 milligrams of water into the agitated mixture of all the previous chemicals. And then by the end of it, it's just damn, that took 2 days, but it's the best damn tea I've ever had in my life.
300 milliliters of water. 50 milligrams of
300
extract,
milliliters.
Powdered. 25 milligrams of poison joke, crushed. Hydra extract and dragon leaf, when mixed in the listed amounts with water, are often used as a sedative for medical operations. It also has a mild effect on plant life, causing a slight shriveling of leaves and flowers on a plant in small doses,
I hate chemistry.
with no long-term damage to the plant observed. Poison joke has rather unpredictable effects on ponies, and I thought a few experiments on it might be helpful in understanding it. The Hydra extract and dragon leaf were mixed in the water, and its effects observed.
Oh yeah, isn't poison joke a whole plot point in this, or am I confusing this with another fanfic? I might be confusing it with another fanfic.
With a 20 milliliter dosage added to 1 potted sunflower. The edges of the leaves curled inwards toward the midrib, and the flower's petals began to fold back toward the stigma. The crushed poison joke was added to the mixture and given time to settle before a 20 milliliter dosage was added to the original sunflower. The leaves and flower petals unfolded to their original shapes. Another 20 milliliter dosage of the mixture with poison joke was added to a second potted sunflower. Within 1 minute, 2 more leaves began to grow from the stem at an alarmingly fast
Twilight,
rate.
you're boring me. I'm sorry.
The growth stopped, however,
You've lost me.
just as the leaves began to unfurl. I'll have to try a few more experiments with it to get a better grasp of its uses.
There were several quill indentations in the next 3 pages that did not match up with the shown writing.
April 1st. Well, it seems like Pinky decided to use an old staple for April Fool's Day. Vanishing ink, again, while I was doing some spell research over the weekend. This time
We
it didn't
love
start to
vanishing
disappear
in the
until I was
Mr.
finished.
MLP channel.
A few days of work gone. But it's nothing to worry too much over. Besides, I had a backup plan in case she tried a prank today. Brought her an enchanted exploding cupcake, and the look on her face was priceless. Anyway, I'll have
sure
to
she
wait
had a
until
hoot with
next
that.
weekend to give the research another go, though, because Applejack asked for some help with planting this season. She said they were going to add a few dozen trees to the orchard and could use some help getting the new land ready and fenced off. Hopefully, Pinky worked out all her pranking today so we don't get sidetracked.
If she only knew what lied on the roads ahead, what waited in the shadows.
Okay. Where'd you come from?
Just got back from Sweet Apple Acres with Spike, and boy, was...
No, but for real though, what? I get that. Okay, that is the shadow creature, but like, it's not part of the documentation. It's not part of Twilight's documentation, and it's not part of the research that the heckin' typewriter pony is like, you know, looking in the journals for, doing the research, you know, trying to figure out what happened to Ponyville. But like, because so far it's been really like faithful. Just like the narration is by either the typewriter pony or, you know, the journal stuff. You know, like where did the shadow pony come from? How are we hearing the shadow pony?
It was a long day. We had to get started early, but we managed to get the fences put in and the soil ready for planting before the end of the day. Applejack says we can probably get finished with all the planting tomorrow, and then we can spend the rest of the week watering or helping her out with the rest of the orchard, although she insists her family can handle the rest on their own. We probably could have finished more if we hadn't been interrupted in the middle of the day, though. Jellybean stopped by the farm, asking if anyone had seen her brother since yesterday. She kept asking if it was some late prank he was pulling with Pinkie Pie, but she insisted it wasn't. Something about it being in the blue saddlebag if you missed it.
Who are we talking about? I heard
He was just out and
Jellybean.
about for the day, or maybe took a trip over to Trottingham for a day or two. I do remember hearing that he was trying to find a shop there that would buy his family's treats. Hopefully he'll turn up soon, and whatever Pinkie's prank wasn't too jarring. Anyway, I just have to double check to make sure all the books I used over the weekend are still where I left them before I head off to bed. Want to make sure I can get started as soon as I have free time.
The first is
Yeah, you shut up, Shadow Pony. Okay, so like, there's this weird thing with Pinkie Pie and her pranks, I'm noticing, and the Shadow Pony kind of has a voice that Pinkie would have in audio dramas, you know, and so already this is weird connection between Pinkie's pranks and these Shadow Ponies, and that is really strange. That is so strange.
long gone, just like all the others now. But they found a new home.
They found a new home.
April 3rd. We finished helping Applejack with her planting on the new part of the orchard today. Spike said he'd take care of the cleaning I was planning to do when we got home, so I decided to drop by Jelly's house to see if she had any news about her brother since yesterday.
Jelly's? Oh, is it
She
Jellybean?
said he hadn't shown up yet, but he had been known to disappear a few times before, so she wasn't entirely worried. She just wanted to save herself from him popping out of a cupboard to surprise her. Before I left, though, she mentioned him leaving notes when he left unannounced before, so he might have been in a hurry this time, I suppose.
Oh, he's
I
gone.
still had a little time left before sundown,
He's
so
out
I
of here.
went out to Zikora's to tell her that her suggestion worked perfectly for the tea, and we even got to make some before I had to leave.
So
Hers
it was for
tasted
tea.
a little better
Okay.
than mine.
Okay,
That's
Twilight.
probably because she had fresher ingredients. And of course, when I got home, Spike was fast asleep on the stairs with a broom. I really hope he'll learn his limits someday, though that will probably take a while.
They thought they were deserters, that they wanted a vacation. The vacation started when they left, and they will come back.
What does that mean?
Research materials for
Deserters.
spell combination and augmentation.
Huh.
April 4th. 115 spells for practical use by Shooting Star.
Yeah,
There's some
150.
more basic
Yeah.
spells that should be safer and easier to modify and combine. We'll probably only use it for basic reference material and to come up with a few basic ideas before I actually try anything. Weaving Spells, The Art of Making New Magic by Silver Streak. A good basic guide on how spell augmentation came about and how to do it safely. Should be a good source from when I get started to when I finish. Battle Casting and Magical Self-Defense by Stalwart Bulwark. Only really useful for a few
Stalwart.
sections on how to combine spells on the
It's a
fly.
funny name.
The rest of it might be useful for a few other abstract subjects, so I'll keep it in mind. Cooking with Magic by Amethyst. Despite the rather misleading...
Amethyst. I'm sorry, there's actually like no cartoon character that has any correlation of the word amethyst. I cannot think of a single character, not a single character, cartoon character that has the name Amethyst or is in any way related to Amethyst. You see, I just can't think of a character named Amethyst. It totally can't be from a show about like a little kid named Steven Universe where he tries to battle gems and he has like 3 crystal gems kind of mothers named Pearl, Garnet, and also Amethyst, which would be the character that I would hope to be thinking about. But there's just no show named Steven Universe. Can you tell I'm making a funny joke here? Have you laughed yet? If you haven't laughed, I think I will become depressed, and you will no longer laugh because I am depressed.
leading title, it's actually a pretty good guide on the basics of how to combine spells. Should be helpful for getting started. Blue and Yellow Make Anything, an advanced guide to combining...
What do you mean blue and yellow make anything? Blue and yellow make green. They don't make anything. I learned from The Blob and The Blob 2. Great games, by the way. Play them right now. They're on the Wii. They're on the heckin' modern consoles. Don't need motion controls. Just play the goddamn... Anyway, blue and yellow make green. Anyway, yeah. I'm very passionate about this. This
More
fact.
advanced book on the subject of using spells together, but it does explain how to build on the basics in more varied ways, so it's a natural step from cooking with magic. Overall, these should help me get caught up on all my research this weekend. April 6th. Rarity asked for some help with picking out some new
They
fabric
skipped my birthday. What the heck, man?
today. I didn't think I would be of much help, but Spike was rather insistent on going and bringing him with me. And I didn't have much planned today, so I figured it was better than lazing around the library all day. The trip to the market was fairly uneventful, except that Rarity was eavesdropping on a few ponies making gossip. I probably shouldn't talk, though, since I couldn't help myself either. Mostly because the conversation was, a little peculiar.
I love
Juniper
Peculiar.
was talking to Meadow Blossom about Thunderlane. I think it had something to do with him running off with Cloud Chaser, because they hadn't shown up for morning weather duty. I
They're
know
gone.
it's probably nothing to be worried about, but it just seems to be
Dramatic irony.
coincidental that 3 ponies would be gone unannounced in the same week. I'm sure they'll turn up soon, though. Preliminary spell augmentation and combination experiments. April 6th.
Huh?
Light spell. A basic
light
spell
spell, okay.
for causing luminescence at the tip of the caster's...
You know, there's the same, heckin' red liquid beaker, not beaker, little... What's the, like, the tube, little heckin' Kool-Aid tube. Okay, I'm red liquid tube guy, we're naming you Kool-Aid tube, and anytime you show up, you will be announced. I will point you out anytime you show up, Kool-Aid tube. I will pause the video. I don't care how many times you show up. I will do it, and it will become really annoying.
Caster's horn. Alteration number 1. Increased focus / input. Strength of the spell is linearly proportional to the amount of focus used by the caster at the cost of a more draining cast.
That was good, Dr. Pepper.
Alteration number 2. Change in focus after cast. By focusing enough on a point, the light source can be moved from the caster's horn. This focus is not too much of an additional strain, but once the spell is ended, any additionally casted light spells will begin at the caster's horn again. Combination number 1. Longevity spell. Once the light spell has been moved from the caster's horn, they can cast a longevity spell on it. This locks the light source in place and at the original intensity for a period determined by how much energy was put into the longevity spell. If the input is linearly proportional to the period for which the light will remain active, it would be most likely to last 2 hours at the most.
Jesus Christ, you're losing me. I do actually have one criticism so far about this thing. There's a lot, at least in the beginning, a lot of just exposition, explaining a whole bunch of stuff. And I know, of course, it's supposed to be, we're setting up what's going to be used later in a pretty worthwhile way. But the thing is that it's not being explained. It's just being explained straight. So it's like kind of going in one ear and going out the other. So when it comes to actually using the thing they set up, it's not going to feel as satisfying, or it's not going to be as understood, because all this information is just going out one ear and out the other. Then they're not really making it entertaining to learn about this information. Just like, hey, let's explain to you how this spell works in a very scientific and straightforward way. It works, but it also kind of doesn't work, if you catch my drift.
Combination number 2. Longevity spell and movement spell. No amount of force put into moving the light source once it is kept active seems capable of moving it, nor was any physical
What?
There was a scream outside earlier.
Okay, that kind of got me. I don't know why. Oh, okay. Oh, I love how that's unexplained. That's good that that's kind of unexplained. And while it's just like, I heard a scream earlier, like, you could like interpret that as just like, oh, the scream made her stop writing. But to me, like, the word earlier kind of implies that it's been at least a few hours since she stopped writing, so it couldn't have been the scream. Well, it could have been a scream. Actually, it probably was a scream. I'm just being stupid.
Just a few hours after sundown.
Never mind.
When I was doing my research. Practically
Never mind.
everybody that was still awake was outside trying to figure out where it came from. The cakes were asking if anyone had seen Lily or Daisy, because they'd just left Sugar Cube Corner after making an order. I tried to look for them in the crowd, but they weren't there. That's when Jelly started shouting about her brother and Rumble about Thunderlane being missing, and that no one had seen Cloud Chaser either.
And so the eternal night begins.
Everyone was arguing and shouting at each other. Luckily, the mayor showed up to calm everyone down, and she said there would be a meeting tomorrow morning at the town hall. It's late. I should get to sleep. April 8th. The meeting went better than I expected it to go. Thankfully, everyone was more composed than last night.
Yes, I did indeed cough, like, very loudly. Okay, but one of my earlier fanfics that I wrote actually kind of I kind of subconsciously, without really realizing it, but I took some of the ideas that this thing had and put it into my fanfic, because the fanfic that I wrote also kind of has the idea of the town kind of becoming more angry with each other and panically trying to figure out what the heck is going on, because ponies keep disappearing faster and at a faster and faster rate as the days go by, and nobody can figure out what the heck is happening, you know? And while I don't have it be like eternal night, the night is like a big part of it, and there's like they're trying to figure out the townspeople are trying to figure out like who the murderer is, and they kind of pin the blame on this one dude. I'm not gonna go too deep into it, but there's a lot more to it. It's not very good fanfic, I will tell you that, and I'm not gonna lie, a lot of the stuff that I set up in there had no payoff at the time, because I was just like, I'm gonna fix all this in the sequel. Don't worry. I know what I'm doing, you know. I don't know what the answer to this mystery is, but trust me, when I get to the sequel, I'll figure it out, you know? I'll figure it out. Which is a terrible way to write. Please don't do that. Unless you absolutely actually know what you're doing. But, yeah. It's still a lot of fun to write and such. Okay, why you...
The mayor assured every pony that the police were already investigating the disappearances, but several ponies were still concerned about safety. The mayor said police would be out on the streets at night, but until they know what's going on, she asked that everyone stay inside after sundown. Whoever is behind all this, I hope they're caught soon, and that every pony who's gone missing is safe.
Oh, nice.
This
Patrick,
page
I
is
found her
removed
for...
from the journal
Yeah!
and unfolded between the pages. There is no evidence that it was removed from the same place it was tucked into in the journal. It is wrinkled, as if it were crumpled up before being flattened out and folded again. The writing is print, rather than the cursive found previously.
I'm in an alleyway, and the buildings look like Canterlot. It's dark and cold, but there's a candle a few feet down the alley. I can't tell if it's into or out of the alley, but I walk toward it. I feel warm as I step into its glow and secure in the safety it brings. The candle flickers and its wax melts as minutes pass by, and then hours and then days, but they feel like they pass in seconds. I look around and the alley is gone, but the candle still remains.
What?
My friends step into the light staring at me, but they
What?
aren't alone. My family, my teachers, and practically every pony I have ever known is there, just smiling at me. They start singing, but I can't hear it. They begin to disappear in the blink of an eye, one by one, until only my friends are left. Dash and Applejack fade together, and then Fluttershy vanishes, a frown on her face. Pinky and Rarity are still there with Spike smiling, but they just drift away like the candle and I are moving away from them. The last thing I see is a face, barely illuminated by the candlelight. It stares at me, frowning as if it's upset. Its lips part and it blows out the candle, smiling as the light fades. It's cold again and I'm alone, but they will come back again and spread to everything just like...
Wait, what was that? Hold on, go back.
Will come back again and spread...
Hold on, guys. Hold on.
To everything just like...
Virus? I think that was the whispered virus, but I'm not sure. Okay, that's so interesting. Oh, that's so interesting. Okay, I remember the candle now. The candle... I don't remember what they did with the candle, but... The candle is so weird, I think. There's something with the candle. There's something. I'm pretty sure the candle returns at least a couple more times. But okay, first of all, the fact that the note was crumbled and then uncrumpled and folded back, and the handwriting is just in print. That is so interesting. Like, just that alone is so weird. And the narration still comes from Twilight, so we know it is still Twilight that wrote the print. But why did her handwriting just change that all of a sudden? Where's Twilight in the moment? Where's this in the timeline? Like, there's so many, like, deep and layered questions that you can grab from this. From this, that one simple thing of just crumpled up piece of paper, folded back to normal, and it's in print. And the narration is Twilight. All from that. There's so many, like, oh, I love it. I love that. And the imagery that you get from just that description of, like, the candle and, like, Twilight's, like, monologue of, like, what's going on. It's so weirdly, like, creepy, but also kind of, like, I don't know. It's, like, creepy, but also, like, something else at the same time. But I don't know the word for it. Like, that is so... It's so cool. It's so good. Oh, my God. Like, what is up with the candle?
The police are still investigating, but I think another pony went missing last night. No one seems to want to talk about it, but Pinky said she overheard some of the police talking while she was making a delivery for the cakes. They didn't say who it was, but they were talking about an animal for some reason.
Hey, it's more than one.
Creature would kidnap half a dozen ponies in the dark. I tried asking her if she was playing some prank with Spike with his entry, but they both said they didn't know anything about it. I can't let all of this happen without doing something, so I'm writing to Princess Celestia. It might not help a lot, but maybe having more ponies helping, or at least some more security, would do some good. I don't want to have to hear about this anymore, or to see everyone so worried and frightened.
Ooh, isn't this the last entry before everything changes? I think this is the last entry before, like, it goes to nighttime and they're all screwed. Because I don't know why, but I remember this specific shot right here. I remember this being such a, like, engraved shot in my memory. I don't know why, though.
April 11th.
Never mind. Immediately proved wrong. Immediately proved wrong.
Back from the princess today. But at least there was no bad news today. Some ponies were even starting to walk around the town again during the day. I don't know if everyone thinks it's safe or if they just want to stay brave, but it's good to have things feel normal. I took the chance to go check on every pony. Applejack is holding up all right. She said they managed to finish all of their seeding, and that all their ruckus hasn't hampered their plans for the harvest. She wasn't sure what was going on, but had faith that whoever was behind it would be brought to justice. Rainbow Dash was fine too, and was boasting about how she'd be ready to fight if anyone tried to take her hostage. Pinky didn't seem shaken by things at all, but she was worried if every pony had disappeared was still safe. She's been making deliveries for the cakes because some ponies are too frightened to leave their houses, but they seem more concerned than her than she is for herself.
I feel like I would be pretty worried.
Fluttershy was still at her cottage, but she was more shaken than I'd expected her to be.
Really? I would expect her to be pretty shaken.
And that she always felt uneasy when she was alone. Rarity was...
See, I would probably be Fluttershy in this situation, except I would probably take this opportunity to be like, hey, Twilight, or hey, Rainbow Dash, or Applejack, or whatever, and be like, hey, can I crash at your house for, like, the next few weeks until this whole situation is over? Because I am terrified for my life.
Was stopping by to check on her, too, and she seemed calm and collected, at least around Fluttershy. Rarity offered to let her stay at the boutique, but Fluttershy didn't want to leave all of the animals behind. It took a bit of convincing from the both of us, but she packed up her things as long as Rarity didn't mind her taking some sick animals with her. It was getting late, but I didn't want to head home without checking on Zecora. I found my way out to her hut.
Yeah, what's up with
The
Sakura?
lights were off, and the door was locked. I wanted to look around for her, but it was getting dark.
She's gone.
I wasn't really worried
she's
about
out
being
here.
attacked or kidnapped,
Oh, no.
but I just felt uneasy in the dark. I hurried home as quickly as I could. I hope Sakura's alright.
Crazy theory here. What if Sakura had something to do with this situation? Just spitballing here. Because Sakura seems like it seems like an important character to the story. Even though, kind of 20 minutes in, we're kind of writing her out of the story. You know, to be like, oh, she locked inside. She might have disappeared. But I don't know. I feel like there's something going on with Sakura. You know, because they already kind of established her early on with the whole potions things and helping out Twilight with the chemicals. I don't know. There seems like there's something more to Sakura, and I don't know what.
April 12th. I got a letter from the princess just after sundown.
Oh, thank
She
God.
apologized for not replying sooner, that she was tied up with royal business, but she promised to send someone down in the morning. No word on if there were any disappearances.
The morning,
Even
no.
if there were, I'm sure the mayor is making the police stay quiet. Maybe
Is it
some
going to
kind of
turn
animal.
morning, though?
I mean, there's no way any pony could avoid capture for so long all on their own. Whoever, or whatever it is, I'm sure the guards will keep everyone safe. April
won't.
13th. The investigators arrived from Canterlot this morning. There were 3 of them. And a
Okay.
dozen guards, too.
It's morning.
I don't
Okay.
know if the guards were there to help, or just to keep the investigators safe.
Tension's
They were
building,
needed for
guys.
the latter. Reporters were asking them questions, and ponies pleading for the safe return of their family. Within a few hours, they were calling for a meeting at Town Hall. They were taking volunteers to help keep the streets safe at night, because the princess was more concerned with safety than finding out what had happened. I was a
Fair
little
enough.
surprised that so many hooves were in the air, considering how many ponies were afraid when all this started, and how many sounded upset. Rainbow Dash, Applejack, and Big Macintosh were among them. I didn't know what I could do, but I had to do something, so I volunteered too.
I don't know why I'm
Pinky,
scared
Rarity,
for a
and
jump scare right
Fluttershy
now.
are staying here at the library with Spike, and it's a few minutes until sundown. It should be a lot less likely that something bad will happen.
Dude, oh my God. Every time it gets close to night and every entry, I'm getting scared. I'm getting worried. Oh no. Because I know it's coming. I don't know when, but oh my God.
Happen with all this security.
Rip the band-aid off. Just give me the eternal night already. Give me the dome.
April 14th. It was uneventful until midnight. I was with
Midnight.
Applejack and Rainbow Dash, along with one of the investigators from Canterlot named Sugarcane. I was trying to get something out of him, about what's going on with the investigation, or if they had any leads about who or what was behind it. But he didn't want to talk much. Applejack and Dash tried to assure me that things would be all right and to trust in the investigators. But I wasn't convinced. That's when a scream came from a few streets away.
The damn
We rushed
scream.
toward it as quickly as we could and arrived at the same time as 2 other patrols. There was only one guard, a broken lantern, and no sign of the others that were with him. He didn't even seem injured, just frozen in fear. Sugarcane and the other investigators were asking him what happened, while one of the other guards rushed off toward the hospital. Everyone that had stayed inside was turning on their lights and trying to get a look outside to find out what had happened. The guards
Keep
tried
those
to
lights
keep
on.
curious ponies away and tell them to go back to bed, but the guard that was attacked just started rambling. He said they saw something, just in the dark of an alleyway. It didn't look anything like a pony, and it was staring
Alleyway.
at them for a few moments, while another guard with their lantern moved closer. He said it screeched so loudly that his ears were ringing, and it sounded like a train screeching to a halt. And it lunged out of the alleyway at them, knocking the lantern away.
I'm sorry, but the image of staring down a dark alleyway and just seeing this dark creature staring back at you, just unmoving, unbreathing, just completely still, like a statue. And you get curious, foolishly curious, to step a couple steps forward, and then this thing starts screeching as loud as you've ever heard anything screech, and it just lunges at you. Oh, that is so creepy.
He said the others were gone in a moment, before they could even scream.
What?
And then
Whoa!
just sat there, staring at him. He just kept shaking and screaming about hearing it whisper to him.
The whisper.
A few nurses from the hospital arrived,
Virus?
and they took the guard off. The investigators were talking in private, trying to decide what to do, but they eventually told everyone to go back to their homes.
It's like the shadow creature. It's like planting some sort of like seed with the whispering to be like, all right, you're gonna stir the pot a little bit. You're gonna make things worse, but better for us. Worse for the ponies, but better for the shadow creatures.
I offered to let
So
Dash
it's like
and
they're kind of
Applejack stay at
smart.
the library with the others.
They might be
tonight,
smart.
but Applejack said she'd be fine at Sweet Apple Acres, and Dash insisted she was fine on her own.
They're not gonna
Like
be
to tell
safe
she
at
was
Sweet
a
Apple
little
Acres,
stupid.
guys.
I don't know if I should keep writing about this, but if all this stops, someone has to know, just in case whatever it is happens again. April 15th. Practically everyone is confined to their houses now, except for a few hours. The police want to keep every pony safe, if not from this thing, then at least from each other, and they're setting up lights to cover the streets during the night.
Yes.
I guess they think that because it knocked a lantern away, it must not like the light. It's not too far-fetched an idea. Spike and I have been looking for any books that might have anything to do with creatures, myths, or legends, but it's starting to get late, especially considering I didn't get any sleep last night.
I got like
to
5
pick up
hours
a few
of sleep last
lanterns,
night.
oil, candles, and some food from Rarity, Pinkie Pie, and Fluttershy's places. We all agreed it would be best if we stayed here together. Maybe in the morning I'll have a chance to look into this.
It won't become morning.
The validity of any further entries is still under question. While the writing is the same style as previous entries, and there is no belief that they were written by anyone but Miss Sparkle, the contents are viewed as unlikely to have occurred, and counteract several facts about the dates listed. Please consider this with any further reading. There are
Interesting.
several faint watermarks on this page, and several that follow.
April 16th.
Here we go. We're in it. It's okay. Oh yeah, we're here. We're in the meat. We are in the very core, the very essence of this now. It is now. We're in the dome. It is now eternally night. And this artwork right here. Oh, the memories. We're gonna be seeing this artwork zoomed out and just like move around for like the next probably 30 minutes or more. We're gonna be seeing this a lot. Oh man, we're here.
I can't even believe what I'm writing. Or that this is even real still. Spike woke me up this morning while it was still dark. I wasn't really thinking why the lights that had been shining through the window last night weren't still on, but I asked him what was going on. He was a little shaken, trying to speak while he held up a clock. It was 10 in the morning, or at least 10 on the clock.
It's still
Just can't be
dark.
possible. I had to double check, triple check even, with the other clocks in the library, and they were all the same. I looked outside, and the sky was dark. No clouds, not even any stars or the moon. It
Moon
was
or
just
Don't
black. The window was frosted, but it was warm to the touch.
frost.
I wrote to Princess Celeste.
Frosted but warm to the touch. Oh my! I also love their use of like warm and cold in this. Like it's with the candle it was also kind of warm, and then like once it got blown out it was very cold. Like there's a lot of like symbolism with the warm and cold and the candle, a lot of that kind of stuff. That I don't know what the symbolism's for, but I can tell they're crafting some sort of complex thing, man. I'm not getting it, but I'm loving it.
Celestia to see if something was wrong, but when I gave Spike the parchment, it just burned into ash. I asked Spike if he'd done it right, but he said it was the same thing he always did.
What?
I tried it again, but it did the same thing. I had no idea what was going on, and I still don't. It doesn't seem possible.
You just cancel
I
out
told
the heckin'
others
letters?
trying to come to grips with it. Rarity and Pinkie Pie were shocked, but Fluttershy took it the worst. She was even more frightened than she'd already been. But we did our best
I
to
would be
calm her
too.
down. She's still worried about all the critters back at her cottage.
I would be
They're
hyperventilating.
safe,
I
and
would
if
literally
Applejack and
just
Rainbow
be
Dash
on the
are
floor
too.
dying.
I pray that they are, but there's no way to know for sure right now. We just have to hope for the best. I didn't see any pony out on the streets during the day, but there were lights on in the houses and silhouettes in the windows, so at least everyone seems all right for now. I could even see a few brighter lights in the direction of Sweet Apple Acres and the town hall. But past that, there was nothing. No lot in the distance, or any other lights. Even stranger was that anywhere dark inside was cold, but not in any way that I could feel on my skin. It was like my bones were freezing, and it seeped out into the rest of my body. The second I set up a candle or lantern, though, it was fine. I have them set up around the library, and we have enough extras to last a little while at least. Maybe we can find out something here.
So, from what I've gathered, okay, so the candle provides warmth, and so far the cold's been kind of associated with the dark, and like it's kind of associated with the bad. So, what I'm gathering here is that the candle is good, but the candle was placed in such a situation where it was so weird and menacing and just not a very good situation, and the candle was like the main focus. So it's just like, what did the candle do? Like, what was the candle protecting Twilight exactly from? Like, from her friends, from the creatures. Like, you know, it's like you would assume for the creatures, but with like the friends and the smiley and all that kind of stuff. I don't know. But okay, wait, okay. I'm about to go crazy here. So her friends in that little weird moment with the candle, right? They were like kind of staring at her and smiling. And the creature, the dark creature in the alleyway, at least the way I pictured it, was like a still creature kind of like staring, and also probably with just a smile. And so there's already this connection of like the dark creatures and her friends. So like, what if there was just one dark creature, and then it captured one pony, and then that one pony turned into one of the dark creatures? So like, whenever they capture somebody, that somebody then becomes part of like this swarm. You know, it's kind of like an infection. It's like a virus. Oh, brother, oh my god, I love this thing so much. Oh my god, I love this thing so much.
Here, where it's safe for now.
Oh
Just
my
the fact
god.
that it's dark would be enough, but with the unnatural cold and the fact that Spike can't send anything to the princess, I'm worried. I'm scared. And I just want an explanation.
Me,
We
you
looked
both?
through a dozen books, but there wasn't anything about some creature that can do this. Maybe tomorrow. For now, the doors and windows are locked. It should be enough.
There is a rather large ink blot at the end of the E stroke.
Reaching down.
Hey, dude. Why do you speak every single time I try to pause? But also, like, the little ink blot, she probably, like, stopped writing, put a period, and then just, like, kind of just sat there and thought, you know, as the ink kind of, like, spread in that one little spot. That's a cool detail. That's a nice little touch.
Down slowly like all the others. I'm still here because I listened. If only they had too.
Still here because I listened.
April 17th.
Listen to what?
Nothing substantial today. I read through equestrian wildlife, two-headed mythological mysteries, medieval pony folklore, and factual legends. Nothing anywhere related to this, even a little. A few lights turned off across the way. I hope they just tried to get somewhere else with others. The town hall and Sweet Apple Acres are still the brightest. Maybe there are some others at the farm with Applejack? If
There's a
there are
lot.
any, they'd certainly be safe with her. To make all
You
of it
would
worse,
think.
Fluttershy came down with a fever this morning.
Oh,
Luckily,
no.
Rarity and Pinky kept her in bed for the rest of the day and helped take care of her.
Oh, Fluttershy's gonna go
wish they
crazy.
didn't
I
look just as bad.
remember stuff
Who
from
am I to
Fluttershy.
talk? I've barely slept since the night I was on patrol, and every second that I'm awake is spent doing research. What do I even have to show for that? No clues, no leads, not even the faintest idea what is happening or making it happen. Rarity, Pinky, and Spike have been spending their time talking and trying to relax. They sound so happy, considering everything that's happening. Maybe they have the right idea. I should take a break before bed anyway.
Yeah, the viewers should just try to be as happy as possible in this
April
situation.
18th.
Just try to chill.
Fluttershy's fever seems better today.
Yes!
And I figured we should set up shifts to make sure everyone gets enough sleep and that nothing gets in. Fluttershy wants to help, but we told her everything should be fine without her.
Yeah,
We'll
just
stay
sleep,
awake like we
Fluttershy.
normally do, and
Relax.
spend about 3 hours each keeping watch, just in case. I volunteered to go first, just so I can keep up my research. I started going through any more legend and myth books I could find.
Bro, I'm about to be like the worst 3 hours of my life. I'm about to be just sitting there, just shivering, just like, please, please, nothing come through that door. Like I'm about to just die. But honestly though, like, sleeping with other people, like, imagine you're sleeping with other people, like, in this situation, you're just chilling in a house, like, you know somebody's gonna be awake, so, you know, you're having trouble sleeping, at least you know there's somebody else awake, and you're not the only one, you know, awake, you know, so there's still, like, this sense of, like, you're a little bit relaxed, you know, you're feeling better because, you know, you're not completely alone, you know, there's a little bit of safety in numbers, that's a good feeling, you know, think about that.
Find around the library, but things are starting to run dry, and I don't have many other sources. Pinky suggested looking in something like ghosts, goblins, and ghoulish figures. I don't think looking in a book about ghost stories is gonna help.
No, just look at it.
But it's
Screw it.
kind of
Look at it.
frightening to think that it's the closest to what's actually happening.
You want to look in the book?
Maybe
Just
I
look in
will
it.
give it a look before I head to bed.
Thank you.
We took some time to talk about our families. Rarity says Sweetie Belle is with her parents, but she's worried because she can't see their house from the library. Pinky is more concerned about the cakes than our own relatives. She hopes they're far enough away from here that they aren't in any danger.
Yeah, they're
I don't
chilling.
even know if the rest of Equestria is experiencing this too. Canterlot would be the safest place, no matter what's happening. I'm sure Mom and Dad are safe there with shining armor. I just hope the reason the letters weren't being sent isn't that the princess is hurt.
Oh yeah, isn't there like a whole thing with
Another light or
Canterlot?
two is going out. I hope it's
There's like
just
a whole
ponies
plot
trying
point
to
with
stay
Canterlot.
together instead of separated. Maybe I could try and get down to Sweet Apple Acres to see if Applejack and any of the others are all right. Though getting to
You can
town
try.
hall might be easier considering how close it is. That's all for later, though. I need to focus now.
This page is torn from the top right to the bottom left. It does not seem that whoever did so was trying to remove any specific information. The words along the tear are tentatively filled in, based on partial letters along the tear.
April 19th. The watch went fine last night, and everyone is feeling a bit better now, getting some actual sleep. I think I finally found something from ghosts, goblins, and ghoulish figures, too.
2.
Took a bit of searching, but I found something that seems to match what's happened.
So, like, why would the ghost and goblins entry be the one that's torn? Like, who tore it? You would assume it's Twilight, but actually, it probably is safe to bet that it's Twilight, considering that she also did the crumpled up paper. But the thing is, it's just why? Unless maybe she thought it was stupid to be looking at. She thought it over. It's just like, Ghosts and Goblins, stupid, and then like ripped out the page. You know, like it wasn't really necessary to her research. Actually, I'm gonna go with that theory. Actually,
Happening.
Little bit. There is a legend from northern Equestria, back from when the
Everfree.
discovered. Some foresters and explorers were supposedly seeing odd
Odd.
forest. They called them shadow walkers because they would own
Only?
corner of someone's eye. I know it isn't a lot to go on, and the legend isn't
Detailed?
how they do it, but it fits at least a little. Maybe there's that would help give me more insight into it, but the
Ho?
scary stories more than anything concrete.
Either.
Kept the page marked along with any others. In case it gets unmarked, it's page 4.
6 or 8. Any other numbers are unknown.
damn it!
Questioning where they come from and what they are. She was misbehaving, like a whiny child that wants to know why she's being given candy. If she listened, she would know. I stole what they learned, but gave them something in return.
I stole what they learned, but then gave them something in return. Something sweet to bite. Candy! The candy man. Okay, but like, this is really interesting, though. So, I don't think Twilight tore out the page, like, because it wasn't necessary. She didn't think it was, like, good research, because you could obviously tell from the entry that she was really considering the idea that what's happening here is that they're being, you know, taken over by the Shadow Walkers. And, you know, it's pretty, like, vital research, you know, considering it's the closest thing that they have to an explanation. So that brings the question, why is the page torn? I have no freaking idea. Also, like, again with the listening, like, so the Shadow Walkers listened, and they listened to what the ponies were telling them. They probably learned their way of life and how to survive in Equestria and all that kind of this stuff they know about Equestria from the ponies. And, you know, they listened to them, and then for exchange of what giving them what they've learned, they gave them something in return. What that is, we don't know. So I feel like there was some sort of relationship between the ponies and the Shadow Walkers at some point. I hear a train. That is, considering the train screeching sound that was described earlier, that is a very terrible time to be hearing a train. What the heck? You're terrifying me. Get out of here. But also, it's really strange on the whole candy thing, and you're like, she's like the Shadow Walkers, like, describing Twilight as this whiny baby that's been given candy. That's so weird. That, like, why specifically candy? Like, oh my god, there's so much stuff here that's just so ripe for questioning and theory crafting. Just oh my god, we're only 34 minutes in. Oh my god, I've been recording for an hour and we're only 34 minutes in. Oh my god, this is gonna take forever to watch. This might be a 3-parter. This might actually be a 3-parter. Because I'm gonna end the first part here. Don't worry, you'll be seeing me in the second part. I won't leave y'all. I love y'all too much. Y'all are my whiny babies with the candy. No, shut up. I hate you all.